Well, good evening, everybody. It's so good to be back with y'all all tonight. Welcome back to the True Seekers Live podcast. It's going to be the call-in edition tonight. We're probably going to have to wait for a couple people to get in here because there's nobody in here right now. So hopefully some people end up showing up. Hopefully some ladies end up showing up and we could talk about what we're supposed to be talking about. Divestment, what it is, what it means, who, what, when, where, why, how. Is there any other are those adjectives? Well, either way, I hope that you had a good day. Pardon my tardiness. There was a million things going wrong, so the camera that I'm using right now, rather the webcam that I'm using right now, ran out of its trial function per se, if you want to say, and so I had to end up buying the software for it. A bunch of other stuff happened, but we're here now. It's not how you start the race, ladies and gentlemen. It's how you finish it. Listen, quick update about the Nyla situation. Nyla just uploaded a video about her walking over to the police station or something like that. She's trying to file charges on people, which is just asinine. You mean we all know how asinine that is because obviously she's who she is. So we'll see how that plays out, but it's getting ugly and it's going to continue to get uglier. We're going to not forget about our national day of the day today. As we walk in, make sure that we like, thumbs up the live stream, thumbs up the video. Make sure that we like the ting. We like the ting. We're going to get to some really interesting stuff in a second. You know, I always got something planned for y'all. I try to make sure that this is nice and juicy. So let's get to our holidays. After we get to our holidays, we'll go ahead and get to our news stories. After we get to our news stories, I didn't have the holidays pulled up. So hang on one second. After we get to the news stories, then we'll go ahead and go to the topic at hand and a few things that I found on this as well. And why I'm talking about this, blah, 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 blah. We have a fast way to do this today. We can just quick look at all the holidays. Look in one quick stroke of the pen. National Pet Parents Day, National Pigs in a Blanket Day, National Skipping Day, and Orthodox Easter Day, as well as World Pinhole Photography Day. So those are your national days of the day today. Right, for those of you who are so curiously inclined, let's go ahead and get to our news stories. Trigger warning here. This happened in, once again, New York. It's starting to become the norm at this point. Earlier this week, two suspects burglarized a woman's house, and then they actually sensually assaulted her as well. The R word here. I can't tell the races of the two people who are walking here, but from the stance and the Jordan 6s on the feet, it looks like from the gentleman right here, they're probably somebody of the cultural influence. Says that she was sexually assaulted, and this happened at 4 p.m. She was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, but they didn't give anywhere in this article the identity of the race of the people, the perpetrators right there. So keep that in mind. We're going to talk about that in another live stream. All right. We're not quite there yet. We have a lot more to talk about. Some of y'all saw this story, which was the bride that was dog walking her husband at this point, you know, and so I'm not going to play the video. Some of y'all saw that. The video is out there, but it's a pretty bizarre video. Essentially, they had a marriage. This isn't current news. This happened a few weeks ago. And I don't know why it ended up coming down to this, but once again, we're not quite at this particular moment in time with our live stream. So I'm just trying to give you a few of the little teasers. The last one I want to bring to you is not necessarily a news article, but this is something that was absolutely fascinating to me and had to pertain with what we're talking about today, which is interracial relationships and divesting, if you will. Technically, they're one and the same kind of, but they're two different concepts completely. Black nurses who are forced to care for German prisoners of war. This was incredible. Prohibited from tending to white GIs, the women felt betrayed by the country they sought to serve. I mean, how could you not? And so it gives a story about a black woman, and there's two black ladies here who were nurses in the military, right? And they gave stories about how one nurse in particular took care of German POW soldiers. So the Germans who were fighting what I assume to be obviously the World War, right? Were in concentration camps in Camp Florence, Arizona. This is 1944. And she met one of the German soldiers, fell in love with him. I don't know how he got out of the camp, but they got out of the camp, got married, settled in Maryland, had children, and the rest is pretty much, the perfect love story. They lived happily ever after type of deal. Now, keep in mind, this is the 1940s, and so 1940s is drastically different from the time period that we're at right now. Drastically different, okay? Drastically different. But those are some more pictures of them. Something to consider. Would you consider her divested? She'd probably be considered swirled. What exactly? She's in an interracial relationship. And so I decided that today we needed to cover this because this is starting to get lost on a lot of people. And even in the comment sections on the videos here, even in the comment sections and in the comments, there's a million different answers. And so I'm not trying to necessarily get combative with anybody in their beliefs. That's the last thing we want to do. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the panel right now. If you want to hop on and just give a quick little spiel of what you think divestment is, then you're more than welcome. Yes, she's really pretty. and you're more than welcome. What is divestment to you? I don't think we even have that many people watching right now, but I'll put it up anyways. Give me 1 second. Let me pin this. All right. I look so low in the chair right now. I look so low. Replace pin message. Okay, there we go. We do have closed captions on as well. So, Okiana, you should be able to watch this right now. And anybody else that needs closed captions, sometimes actually I stopped doing that, but for a while I had like a hard time understanding rap songs and like movies and stuff like that. So I had captions on, but I stopped doing that a long time ago. Anyways, there's been argument after argument after argument after argument on my channel and in the comments. So let me try and find some of them really quickly, and y'all try and stay respectful, of anybody that does decide to come up and give any idea of what their ideas or what they believe in. Right? We're gonna try and be respectful. I forgot to say that this is a safe place. Right? So I just want to say that, but this is one thing, right? Now I think this is a guy that's responding to AP Money right now. So keep that in mind. This is a guy that's kind of responding to her. But this is one of the definitions of divestment, right? This is one of the definitions of divestment. Divestment means disengaging and walking away from things that don't serve you, e.g., toxic family members, toxic romantic relationships, toxic friends, toxic foods, toxic neighborhoods that are unsafe and crime ridden, and the list goes on and on. Divestment means different things to different people. Some people focus on one issue at a time, but the end is to ultimately remove toxic people, principles, and ideological thinking from your life and to thrive and live in your best life. I see somebody just joined the panel. Give me 1 second. I'll get right to you. D. Clow said wrong. Divestment is being classified as a hate group. I don't know how factual that is. I haven't heard anything or read anything on that. I don't think that there's any really governmental agencies that are picked up on the women's response to the manosphere, but maybe I don't know. I don't think so. But quit trying to change its terms. Divestors, he said, bring their toxicity with them wherever they go. They talk about black men 24/7 and worship white men. Even have white supremacists calling them out, or maybe it's woman's fear. Is it white supremacist or woman's fear? So quit trying to change the term to how it really started and what it really is in effort to hide the truth. So my first question, and I'm going to go ahead and open up a poll as we bring our panel member up. We don't do polls that often, but I'm going to put a poll up. Oh, somebody joined and then they left. Okay, so Learning IT said that's not true. Ain't she biracial? I don't know, Dark and Lovely. She might be. I'm not sure. I'm not going to even put the poll up because there's really not even enough people to do this poll right now. Learning IT, you said it's not true. I'm not sure if you're referring to what the definition is of divestment. Clarify that if you can for me. Clarify that if you can. Let me go to a few more, though. And I'll ask. I'm going to save the questions for when we do get a couple of the ladies up here. I don't want to give away the questions right now, but let me go to a few more comments. So I think when it comes down to the situation, another reason why I'm kind of talking about this is because there's a few of the comments like this. Nakasha Love, I don't know if this is a black woman, assuming the name it is, but these divested women are hypocrites. As we can see, they're only divested when it's convenient and when it fits their narrative. So that's one perspective as well. Take that for what you will. Let's see another one. Truth. Truth Seeks Me said, I'm glad we're taking ourselves out because we are collectively trash now. Geez, that's a serious comment right there. I haven't seen that before. Okay, let's see. Somebody said this. To be in support. Okay, this is going to be maybe a little bit of but this has a lot of likes too. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm not making this up. Sherry Chick says, to be in support, thank you, whoever just joined the panel. I'll get to you 1 second. To be in support of divestment doesn't mean you have a black spouse. The man who wrote Marriages for White Women is married to a black woman, but his book, advocacy, stats, etc., are all still very valid. Divestment is not just about dating life. It is more about removing ourselves from all of those ignorant in Blackistan. It doesn't mean divorce your spouse. That is also not trying to deal with Blackistan. Making all these hardcore absolutes to find ways to disqualify people is not helpful. Sharif said, if you have a black spouse, then you aren't divested. All right. So just straight up. And she has some likes as well. I don't remember liking this. I'm going to unlike this because I don't know why. Hey, caught red-handed. Let me go ahead and keep it liked. I didn't think I liked it, but maybe I did. So I keep it like, she says, right. I don't understand why that's so hard to understand. Divine Feminine Awakening said, right. Like, I don't understand what's so hard about it. If you have a black spouse, then unfortunately statistics are not in your favor. When he does what they all eventually do, then you could be divested. Okay. We'll give everybody a like right here so we can keep everything. Now, somebody else said 100%. All right. So that's what I'm talking about here tonight. And that's why I want to kind of get a couple people, and Cerebral join the panel. It's good to see Cerebral in the building. Wow. Shout out to Cerebral in the building, ladies and gentlemen, as well as Miss Stahl. So we're going to go ahead and go with Cerebral first. Miss Stahl, we'll come back to you. Cerebral, what is your take on divestment and what it means to you or in general?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, I have some things written down. I didn't want to forget. Okay, this is not the first time this has been brought up. What is divestment? I am BWE, but I am a co founder of the divestment movement.
Right.
But it snowballed into something a little different, and I no longer call myself divested. I have found that it means something different to different people. Okay, give me one quick second. Okay. It's different for for different women, okay? For instance,
Mhm.
I'm called a swirler, meaning I date all races of men,
Right.
including black. There's also some women in the space who don't. I've also known women who say they're divested and they have black husbands. There are also women who are lesbians who are divested. Um, okay, I looked up the definition again of divest, and what it means, it says divest means to deprive someone of power,
Mm.
rights, and possessions. Okay, a lot of black women, sorry if I sound nervous, y'all. Okay.
You fine?
A lot of black women no longer give black men power or control over their mind or influence over their lives. They no longer possess them, meaning we're not yours. You don't own me. I don't have to explain who I date to this so-called community of men. um we just have melanin and some slave ancestry in common, but I'm
Right.
free to date who I feel like dating. You don't, divest. You don't. I'm depriving you of power over me, your rights over me, your possession over me. And black men have sex and date and marry who they want. Many black men have divested a long time ago from black women, and they had told black women they don't belong to black women. I've literally heard this, and black women don't possess them or have power or rights over their decisions. The
Right.
second definition of divest is to rid oneself of something or someone that no longer, okay, hold on, to rid
Mhm.
oneself of something that you no longer want or require, such as a business interest or an investment. Black women no longer have interest or invest in black men.
Mm.
We're no longer invested in this potential stuff all the time, broken promises and all that other stuff. It's not about dating a white man. For some it is, I'll explain, but you don't have to. You can date other races of men who are not white. We all have different definitions. For me, it's about you. You do what you want. You separate yourself from the toxic parts of the black community. You put black women first, you put yourself first. No more marching for random men, just because they are black. Okay. We don't get reciprocation. When black women get killed every 5 hours, there's no marching in the street from black men about this shit. Nobody cares. We are neglected. Nobody fights for our issues. A divested black woman, we no longer have interest. We no longer invest in you. We put ourselves first. We're not doing that. Okay. We don't
Right.
want to help continue. We also don't want to help continue the mass dysfunction in the so-called community, which largely black culture has become in America. You can date a black man, men are still men, but we understand, and I don't mean to sound mean when I say this, but you do run high risks if you're going to date in this culture. We are aware that you have a high chance of having an out of wedlock child in this community. You have a high chance of him not marrying you or committing to you. You also, if you want a man who makes over 40,000, because a lot of the average black men make $40,000 a year. You know this. So if you know you want a certain lifestyle, you want to live in a certain area where the homes go for a certain amount, you want something more. You already know that a lot of black men are not even, you're not going to date a lot of them. You already know this. The culture has been oversaturated with things that has ruined black women's lives, that's ruining the so-called community. And a lot
Mm.
of black women are saying they are divested because they refuse to join in with this toxic culture. They want to join in with men who they feel have a better culture, who believe in raising children. For me, divestment is about freedom to live my life the way I want without worrying about saving or carrying the so called black community, which is beyond repair, in my opinion, on a mental level. Divestment starts in the mind. You can go anywhere and carry a Blackistan mentality with you anywhere you go. You just
Okay.
don't ride. You just don't ride for the black community because they're black and you know their ideals, their culture, their cultural practices is completely different than you. It's very difficult for women in this space to find like minded women. A lot of black women, on average, are male identified. They are black first rather than woman first. They have a victim mentality. The average black woman, I don't care if I'm called divested or not. I'm about the black woman myself. Um, I don't kiss anybody's butt. I call out, you see on my channel, I call out all races of people, but
Absolutely.
the average black woman doesn't want to face reality. Other cultures of men are not perfect. I've dated them. They're not all perfect, but there are some differences.
Mm.
Yes, you do have a higher chance of probably getting married and then raising the children. No one's perfect, but I give all races of men a chance. I'm also not delusional about what I'm facing in Black American culture regarding a lot of the men. Divestment, again, is different for everyone. Again, we have women who say they are divested, who do not date black men at all. They feel like, what is the point when you know what was so common in the culture? Again, out of wedlock, the murders, the abandonment of children, the men who don't have careers. You also have some who are swirlers like me who date all races of men. You have
Right.
some who are with black men, and you have some who are lesbians. You even have black women who are in interracial relationships with white men who still cape for black men just because they are black. Those are not divested women, even though they have a white man. It's a mentality, it's a difference in culture. I'm sure there will be some women who disagree.
Mm.
A lot of women did feel like there were certain rules to being divested, meaning you can't date a black man. It goes against
Well,
it makes no sense.
Cerebral, I'll be honest. We say a lot of women, but I mean, it's most. It looks like it's most women. And Cerebral, give me 1 second. I'm gonna mute both of us real quickly just for audio. We have some crackling going on. But the poll is saying, that 72% believe that you cannot be divested and date black. Now it's only 25 votes, so keep that in mind. But out of 25 votes, a good 20 of them, a good 21 of them, quick maths right there, Jesus Christ, say that you can't do it. So what do you? And that I think is kind of the bigger thing that I'm kind of just trying to figure out and take away from it, because it does sound like, and you're a large content creator with a good sized platform, right? You're definitely a larger content creator for sure. You have a bigger platform than me, that's
Um,
for sure. So what do you think about that in regards to and I know you already kind of explained it, you don't see it that way, but I think a lot of, or maybe do you feel like majority of other women kind of see it that way? Now Kenyatta did say this too, Cerebral, before I cut you off again. Kenyatta said this: divestment is a movement built on the bitterness of women who failed in their lives. I don't think it's completely that, man. I think that's a bit extreme, Kenyatta,
no,
but this is Kenyatta.
it's
So take this with a grain of salt. This Kenyatta's a bit, definitely out there. But and to finish it off, he says devolving into a cesspool of black men hate and white male worship. Now, Cerebral, Black Women's Fear did say that it is black. What did she say, y'all? Black male banging is pretty much what Nyla and Taz and a lot of the
um
other divestors do, I believe. Now, I'm not telling you to implicate, and Cerebral is not in any of that drama, y'all. So she's her own person. Please don't. All right, I'm
okay.
bringing names into the conversation. Okay, so if you want some smoke, come my way. But I want to ask you, Cerebral. I'm giving you a lot.
Okay. You
What
can
do
hear
you?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Go ahead. What do you think?
Okay. First of all, I'm fully aware of Kenyatta. I've talked to him on Clubhouse
Okay.
before. Kenyatta is everywhere. Okay.
This is yeah, Kenyatta. Jesus,
Okay. Hi,
infamous.
Kenyatta. Okay. First of all, I don't, you can call us bitter. A lot of us are not bitter, but the black woman has a right to be bitter. No
Right.
woman has been disrespected by her so-called men on the level of black women. So if we're so-called bitter, then the
And
hell with
cerebral,
it. Let us be bitter.
cerebral. I'm just gonna. There's some crackling on the mic right now, I believe, cerebral. So I'm. You want to hop out and hop back in really quickly?
I have to. Okay, can
I
you
know.
hear
I
me
want
now?
you to.
I don't hear the crackling.
I think it's just. Yeah. It might be. Do you have headphones plugged in?
No, I
No.
really have to say this, which I want to answer your question so bad right now.
Go ahead. Go ahead, cerebral. You'll
Okay,
be all right.
for the women, divestment started all, it was different at one point. Now a lot of women have decided you can't be with the black men and divested. It's sort of like black men who talk about the white man constantly, but yet they fucking marry white women. That's how they see it. You know, my thing is, if you're going to say every black man is evil, a devil, they all are going to kill you, they're all no good. If you're preaching they're all no good, then yes, you will look foolish if you're sleeping or marry a black man and you completely are against the black man. I don't say every single black man. I know not every single black man is what we talk about on our channel. I meet black men in person all the time who seem okay. But my thing is some feel like you're trying to move away from toxic black culture. And
Right.
that would include a lot of black men. They follow a lot of toxicity in the black community, and
Right.
you run high risk when you date them.
So by
If that
default,
is that huh?
you're not necessarily saying that to worship other. You're not saying to worship other races, but rather you're saying or acknowledging what's going on within the immediate community. And so you're saying just by essence, leaving the community does mean leaving a majority of the
Of
people within
black,
that community is what you're saying,
you
right?
yes,
Yeah.
some just have to walk away because it's difficult to find the way that I operate, think and stuff. I don't find many black people that think like me. I get into arguments all the time. They call me whitewashed, a coon. I hate who I am. It's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, black people like me are not common, and there are plenty of black women who don't have anything in common with so-called black culture. They get called Oreos and stuff they like. Some black women fit in better with so-called white culture or men from different races. I mean, let's be honest. We have a high rate of black men. They don't get married. Why
Right.
there and so a lot of women are feeling, what's the point of dating them if you know most of the time you're not going to end up marrying? And if you do, you're going to be older. No one wants to waste time anymore with the results of what they're seeing. And I get that part too. Um, so they feel that you're going to have to, if you want better, to go with a better culture where your kids will be raised, where you don't have everything dysfunctional promoted, like in the black community, you're going to have to walk away completely. I mean, I get what they're saying too. You run high risk with a lot of black men. I mean, the
Right.
results are in. We see the so-called community. I mean, we can all
Now,
just, you know,
I want to say in cerebral, if you can hop out and hop back in if you can, cerebral. Okay.
okay.
Thank you, Cerebral. Man, Cerebral has an
Uh,
amazing channel, y'all. Make sure you check out Cerebral. I hate that we have to take her down for a second, but something's going on with the mic. So hopefully she comes back. Cerebral, try and come back if you can, dear. Reset the phone if you can or something. Because I really like hearing what she had to say. But let me read a couple of things. Then we're going to go to Mistel. These are some interesting comments. Real SEC says, I know black couples who didn't march for the George Floyd because of his character in a way that's divested. So essentially the George Floyd situation, right? A lot of people protested, burnt down Minneapolis. I mean, the entire world marched for George Floyd, right? But there are a good amount of people, us included on this channel, who were just like, hey, listen, this guy was not a saint. He was an angel. And to be honest, there's been a lot of situations where people have been unjustly marching for people that we should not have been marching for. Right. We just talked about one of those cases yesterday. This nigga Taz is up at the courthouse sticking up for a nigga that has a rap sheet damn near as long as his, right? Talking about some. I want the police. I want the police to treat black men better. That's not. We're not talking about them right now. But Taz wants the police to treat the niggas that we're calling the police on better. So, but let me get back to this for a second. All right, Mistel, what do you think? I have because before I even get to that, I want to have Mistel speak. I know you've been quiet for a long time. Mistel, what do you think? This is your first time on the channel, so it's good to see you here.
I honestly think divestment
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have occurred if we all had been like never slaved, you know? I think initially
Jeez.
what had happened is that there's a small group of people and we have all faced like extreme racism in this country and injustices, and I think over time it has been so awful that a lot of us have internalized, this racism and whatnot. And you mean you hear it amongst, black people as well. They don't generally find, and it's sad to say, they don't find like very dark skin and very kinky hair really, really attractive. And I think it's because after everything that we have experienced, we tend to internalize things, especially being such a small population in this country, and we have feelings of self-hatred, and this happens a lot in the black community. So what some of us have done is said to ourselves, well, listen, if my own community doesn't find me attractive, I'm going to go out and I'm just going to deal with whoever finds me attractive. And I think divestment wouldn't have happened if we did not come to be conquered. We didn't have white supremacy, we didn't internalize racism.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I feel. Like divestment is really getting away from the toxicity of the black community, which I believe is tied to a lot of, stereotypes, bad feelings about, black features. I feel like even when people in the black community do get wealthy, they don't marry within the black race. We have just felt
Uh-huh.
very unrepresented and unloved, and that's why we wanted to try to date different men who actually see the beauty in our, skin, hair, and whatnot. I think that's what I really don't like about divestment right now is that the women are starting to internalize things from the black community and starting to say very, very racist things towards black men. And I don't think they should be invested in all these hateful sentiments because it's only going to make their lives miserable. You hear all these divestors out here, the things that they say is absolutely racist, like something that comes off from Stormfront. And I think they're just going to wreck their lives by being so hateful. I think they just should find people who appreciate them for how they look and appreciate them for their characteristics and call it a day. That's what I think divestment is, just getting away from the toxicity and the self-hatred of the black community.
So it's not necessarily getting away from black people then necessarily. And y'all, let me know, is my mic cracking as well? Because I don't know if it's me, if it's my computer kind of overloading right now or what, but let me know if my mic is kind of going on with the crackling too, because it might not be, our guests or the panel members. It might just be me and something going on. So let me know. But I'm speaking and trying to give a good 20 or 30-second dialogue right here. So if there's any crackles coming through, then let me know. Hey, we hear crackles on your mic too. That's going to drive me insane. But so, Mistel, getting back to you before we go to Cerebral, you do believe, okay, it sounds better. Okay, so it is just I wonder then. StreamYards, this is why I don't like StreamYards, Opulence Prime, Opulence, you believe that this is pandering, Opulence says. This sounds like pandering. Black people are multifaceted. Opulence, I'm not sure what part you believe is the pandering. If you want, you can call in if you'd like, dear. Just I'd say, and I didn't even, yeah, I'm not gonna put any of that out there. But yeah, Opulence, call in if you'd like, or just clarify if you'd like what part of that seems like pandering. But, and I know it might seem, because I feel like I kind of understand what she's talking about. But Mistel, I'll let you kind of finish up your statement there and finish up what you were saying. Take your time. You're in no rush. But we left off on the point that you don't have to date outside of your race. But I mean, we're looking at the polls. I'm looking at the polls right now, ladies and gentlemen. There's 48 votes right now. It's at 70% that you cannot be divested and black. It's at a solid 70% out of 50 votes. Okay, so the votes are going up. If you want to close out the poll, y'all just click those buttons right there, and then you can go to end poll, so you don't have to see that anymore. I know it's a little annoying. We have another poll coming up in a few minutes, so just wait a couple seconds. We have another question. Trigger warning on this question, fair warning. But Mistel, go ahead. What do you think about that? Do you think that it's a bit pandery in a way to say that, well, it's not all black men? I
Yeah,
don't, for the
because
record.
I
I
mean,
don't. I don't. But I understand though. You know what I mean? I do.
well, let's just think about it. Like, if there's a small, tiny, tiny group of people in this country,
Right.
and over 400 of years, you've been treated like cattle, like garbage.
Right.
Like, I believe that a lot of the men have internalized it. That's when they say when they get rich, they're just not gonna marry within their race. They have internalized it really, really badly. And I'm not gonna
Hmm.
say like all the other races haven't. We are not really seen as very amazing in this country pervasively,
Right.
but you will find that other people tend to appreciate us, not necessarily more, but you're seeing it more and more that, black women are dating out, they're getting married. I think that when it comes to us, because of everything that we have been through, we tend to internalize it more so than other people are even prejudiced. Like, I don't even want to bring up your past because I'm not trying to be mean to you, but you
Hmm.
did call somebody dark Renisha. So it's most black men that really do not like dark skin, woolly hair, and our features. And since we are realizing that many of us have internalized this racism, we're looking to other
Did
people
did
who
did you
will
say that I
see
called
us
somebody dark Nisha?
dark Renisha. Yeah.
Dark Wanisha? I, I
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever said that, but if I've said that, then I'm pretty sure I would never say that. That doesn't sound like something I'd say. But by all means, what was that in the video? The Taz and the Nyla video?
Yeah. Cynthia G,
Really?
all of them when they doxed you. Yeah, totally. So I think,
Well,
but I forgive
hmm,
you totally, but I'm just trying to let you understand that because of everything, especially the black man, he's been through a lot. He's even
hmm,
had the black woman placed over him to further oppress him even more. Like, we have been through hell. Even when we built certain towns and whatnot, they've all burned down. Like, it comes to a point that some of us just internalize this, hatred. And
hmm.
I find that a lot of my own do versus actually going out being with somebody else. It's been tough for us, and I think what black women should know is that we shouldn't internalize this ourselves. We should treat our brothers and sisters with respect. But if you're not finding somebody who appreciates you for how you look, you just have to move on.
Mm. That's deep. That's deep. And do me a favor, if you can find that clip of me saying Dark Wanisha, or if you can find in that video the timestamp, send that to me if you can. I'd appreciate that.
Okay, no
Um,
problem. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Mister. I appreciate you. Cerebral, go ahead, Cerebral. Somebody said in the chat that I was trolling. I didn't say that. I would never say Dark Wanisha. That's not a word that I would say. But I assume that if she heard it, then she must have heard it. So but no, I wouldn't. I don't say stuff like that. I would just call them black women if I was talking about black women. But maybe I did. I don't know. So we'll see. Cerebral, go ahead, Cerebral. You're
Okay.
sounding a lot better. Sorry about that, Cerebral.
Okay. It's okay.
Hmm.
Um,
Well,
I didn't
it's
I
kind of
didn't
bad
hear
actually.
I didn't hear everything she said, and I want her to know I don't hate her with what I'm about to say.
Uh huh.
I want to say that I don't like the narrative. This, not all black women who are dating other races of men are rejected women.
Hmm.
I, I don't have an issue attracting black men.
Hmm.
I've never been made to feel ugly by black men, and I'm sure someone could say, "Well, oh, well, you don't have dark skin and the hair thing." My thing is that not all black women. I don't like people to think that we're all dating white men and different races of men because we couldn't get a black man. That's not true.
Right.
I've been attracted to all races of guys since I was in middle school, you
Right.
know, and we're not all dating or leaving because we just the black man rejected us. We gotta go. We gotta find love. That is the case for some women, but there are dark skinned women who don't have 4C hair or wide noses, and they have so-called European features to people, and they date out, and some of them date black men. The thing is, though, I've been on YouTube.
Cerebral. The crackling, Cerebral, is really strong on the mic. It's really strong. There's a few of the ladies are saying that's the crackling. I'm not sure. Are you just on your phone, Cerebral? I don't know why it's
um
crackling because it never crackles. I don't know why the devil's trying to
I
throw
know.
it off. It's
Oh,
Satan.
I guess I
I'd say
might.
if you have headphones, maybe try plugging the headphones in because they might have a microphone on them, and
How
so
is
maybe
this?
Sounds the same. It sounds. I'll try this. If you're on Wi-Fi, maybe try turning your Wi-Fi off, or if you're not on Wi-Fi, try turning it on. It because it's definitely got to be something in there. We're gonna figure it out, Cerebral. We're gonna figure it out for sure, for sure. Um,
Uh,
I
okay.
think it's just a data thing. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, if it's really
Mm,
bad, I guess I will just have to come back on again.
okay.
It's something very, very extremely important, I must say to the world. You must hear
Okay.
this.
Well, listen.
Uh,
Organic Black says it's bearable, and so by all means, by all means,
okay.
yeah. Go ahead, Cerebral.
If it gets too bad, just let me know and I'll come back.
Okay.
I have been on YouTube for 12 years. Okay.
Hmm.
And I remember the only reason people are upset now is because Black women are responding. I have heard the cruelest, most disgusting, hurtful things from Black men in this space for years. That's how I came to be the way I am now, where I'm just airing it out. I'm not putting up with disrespect towards Black women. I don't call Black men apes or nasty words. I don't speak like that. But there are some women who felt like they wanted to give them a taste of their own medicine to see what it feels like, because this is what Black men have been doing to Black women on YouTube and other platforms for over a decade.
Mm.
And you know, I don't say all Black men are the same, but some women don't like that when we say not all, because a lot of Black men don't differentiate between Black women. We're all the same to them. They don't have grace for us. They don't give us the benefit of the doubt with certain things.
Cerebral, let me ask you a question. I was talking to one of the channel members, rather, not even a subscriber member. Hey, thank you for everybody that's a channel member and enjoy the channel member content. And also make sure you can support Cerebral's channel. Cerebral is spelled just like how you see in front of you. And if you can support the channel, the Cash Apps, through Cash App or the donation links. But Cerebral, I was talking to one of the members and she said, well, this is going to really stir some trigger warning, okay? Trigger
All
warning, y'all.
right.
She was saying that, okay, if there are so few unicorns, then shouldn't we give them their credit? And I was like, oh shoot, that's kind of like, in a way, the way she said it, I was kind of like, yeah, I mean,
Um,
I'm not saying that there's a lot of them, right? But you get kind of get what I mean, because I think that's one of the other thing that a lot of the Black guys out there say. And listen, y'all know how y'all know how I feel about Black guys, right? We talk about niggas for a year now, but I thought it was an interesting point, though. Just to at least, because I mean, is recognizing that a lot of them are bad is one thing, right? So in the other breath, we can't recognize the few that are good too. And I'm not saying that we should use the few that are good as a, hey, you could hopefully find you the unicorn, right? But but a unicorn's still kind of cool though.
I
you know
have
I
in
don't
the
know.
past, I thought about that because there are a few Black men I respect. Um, One example is Lennon Honor here on YouTube. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. Lennon Honor. He has a Black wife. He tried to teach Black men how to dress properly, how to act like men,
Sorry,
to do
go
the
ahead.
right thing.
uh
He calls out Umar Johnson a lot on his channel, even right now. I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging Black men who do respect Black women, who do call out Black men's behavior. But the fact that there are so many unicorns is why a lot of Black women are going to have to date out their race. This is just a fact. And it's not because hating Black men. We already know there are about 2 million more Black women than men. Okay. A lot of Black men, a number of them can't support a family, the culture. This is just reality. And I don't feel guilty about it whatsoever, because I see Black men with white women every single day. We don't owe anybody anything anymore. We don't want to feel the guilt, the pressure. We're going to date who we want. Also, again, I don't agree with a lot of us Black women in the space. We're not the same. We have differences. Some of us don't like each other, but what we have in common is we want the Black woman to get respect, to find love, point blank period, And we're calling out the bullshit that we've been seeing for years. There are a lot of divested women. Yes, some of them might have some toxic parts to people, but a number of them are very intelligent women. A number of them in this space, and they're not going. We don't want to be the mules of the so-called community anymore. We're not. No one owns us. We're not
Right.
gonna be forced to date black men if we don't want to, if we don't like their cultural ways. Again, I'm not saying every black man is the same.
Mhm.
And I don't want the story to continually be like that woman said. Oh, it's because we were rejected. I have not been rejected by black men. I,
Now,
I don't.
Cerebral.
I don't think black men. Huh?
I was gonna say, well, I'm gonna go to a few other people on the panel, Cerebral. So just give me a second. We'll come back to you, dear. Um, and
In the
give me
past,
one
I
second, Cerebral. Okay, I'm trying to mute everybody. So one second, y'all. Listen, we have Cerebral on, ladies and gentlemen. Cerebral is a content creator who is I honestly love watching Cerebral's videos. Hey, if you can, y'all, keep yourself on mute for a second. We have 62, 65, 66 votes right now in the poll. Can you be divested and date black? 65 votes out of 68 votes at this point. 65% of people say no, you cannot be divested and date black. 68 votes at this point. So we're going to move on to our next panel member really quickly. I'm going to put Cerebral's link in the live chat so we can support both Cerebral content creator. And
thank
if you're a
you.
content creator, no, thank you, my dear. I appreciate you for coming up, Cerebral. You didn't have to do that. DH Danielson is in the building. However, I'd like to ask DH Danielson in the building. I haven't seen you, DH. I know it's your first time here, brother, but DH Danielson is a troll. Okay, good deal, good deal. All right, we'll take DH Danielson down. It's good to have good mods. I tell you what, shout out to Organic Black. And yeah, if you can, guys, keep yourself on mute for a second until we come to you. Laura, we're going to save you for last because, Laura, I know you have the interesting perspective always. And most of the time, Laura doesn't really even say anything. So, Laura, I know you're just kind of here to watch and chill. So give me 1 second, Laura. Nadine is in the building. Nadine, what do you think about the divesting? And let me ask you straight up, can you be divested and date black in your opinion?
Nope, you can't date black and be divested at all. And I think
Cannot.
it sets us back. I think it sets us back all the time, and it annoys me every time I go on YouTube. It annoys me.
So my thing is, and I know that you're definitely on the, because I know that there's a lot of different facets of divestment. So your facet is that, hey, it is what it is. Everybody gets it. And that pretty much is what it is type of deal. So let me ask you, and this is a very, very, very gaslighting, unrealistic type of situation. But Nadine, say you had the perfect guy walk into your life. He's 6'6", Brad, that used to play in the MLB, that speaks Puerto Rican. I'm gonna get flamed for that. Spanish. Forgive me, Puerto Ricans. And he can skydive and everything. But he's black. Is it a no go?
I wouldn't
I
care.
know this is unrealistic. So I know this is stupid, but still, I'm just trying to get an idea.
So you're saying that if I would go out with that Hispanic guy,
I'm sorry,
that's what
my
you're
bad.
saying?
I meant a black guy. Yeah, I'm trash. I'm trash. He's black. I'm sorry.
So, and can you ask the
Yeah,
question
yeah.
again?
All right. So that was about as clear as mud. I'm trash. So if you found the perfect guy and he was, whatever, the perfect height, he's muscular, this, and that. He is smart, right? He's well spoken, this, and that. He can speak different languages. He does travel. He does this. I mean, would you marry him, or would you be in a relationship, or would you at least try it? If you thought that he was interested in you, would you be like, okay, I'll go on a date with you. We'll at least see.
Yes, I would try, but like the whole, are you saying the black guy or the Puerto Rican guy? Just the black guy, right?
Just the black guy. Just the black guy. I know you tried the Puerto
Yes,
Rican guy, but just the black guy for sure. Okay,
yes,
so
I would.
I think that's awesome, Nadine. Like awesome. Now I know that that's probably not going to happen because I know the numbers don't, that doesn't lend itself to that a lot of the time. But I do know that there are some guys, probably one or two unicorns out there, But I do think that's good because a lot of black guys, Nadine, and I asked you that question because a lot of black guys would hear the divestors say, and this is what they've told me, and this is what they'll probably comment in a few hours after the video gets posted, that I mean, black women are pretty much just for a lack of better term, like it continuing the white supremacy type of thing through divestment. But we see you saying that you would date a black man if he did check all those boxes. But there's no point in waiting for somebody that checked all those boxes. So I just wanted to make that distinguishing difference right there. That still, if there was a guy, there's an option, right? There's an option there, and I think that's a really big thing. I think that's a really big thing. Is this open now? I don't even know what that means, Omega District. But if you want to hop on the panel, you can hop on the panel. Puerto Rican men aren't about better. Opulence. Well, that's from
What?
opulence.
I have a
Nadine,
question.
go ahead.
Puerto Rican, I'm like, my family is Black Puerto Rican, so Puerto Rican is mostly, I see, if you go to the islands, mostly Black people in Puerto Rico. So
Right.
it's not like mix, all of them majority mixed. They just put the mixed people in front, to make it seem like it's all mixed, but it's mostly majority Black, like all the
Okay.
islands.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Actually, to be honest with you, there's a good amount of us down there. And so let me kind of get back, and I'm going to ask another question. Okay. Is it possible for uh is it possible for oh geez, I don't even know if I really want to ask that question. I don't know why I wrote it. I need to really reword it because that's intense. So I'm just going to tell you why I wrote this question. We'll do this. Why, do this. What I see happening is that there's going to be conflictions between one side of the fence and the other, because on one side it's going to be perpetrated that, listen, we're trying to save lives, do this and that, right? And I'm already seeing these arguments happen, right? So kind of like the same thing that's really almost going on in the manosphere might happen with the divest sphere. And I saw this on Women's Sphere's channel a little bit, all right? And it was getting interesting. But the women were saying, like, we're going to have a reckoning because there's a lot of women in our community that are not for us, pretty much is what they were saying for the most part. And so that's why I'm making this, because I don't want that reckoning to happen necessarily. There's already enough going on, right? I think that it'd be better or beneficial if everybody could kind of, talk things out, but it seems like it might not be able to happen that way. Thank you, Self Love Heals, for the $10 super chat and for the support on the channel. She says this is a good topic. I'm going to read a couple of your comments. Mistel said, I sent you the video, THT. Thank you, Mistel, for sending me the video. Link me, Omega. The link should be up there. I appreciate that, bro. Bro, I'm still alive. I am still alive. Philly Kid is in the building. It's good to see Philly Kid. Yo, we haven't seen Philly Kid in a long time. Philly Kid is in the building. Philly Kid, what are your thoughts before I ask this question? I'm really judging whether I should ask this question. What are your thoughts on divestment for yourself? And keep in mind, Philly Kid is, I believe, married as well. Philly Kid, it's good to see you again, man.
Good, man. How you doing, brother, man? It's been a long time, man.
Yeah, good, man. I appreciate you, man. Everything been all right?
Yeah, man. I can't complain, man. I just need a little break from social media, man, and just kind of a little decompression.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. 100%. So have you been keeping up with all the stuffs going on and everything, as far as, obviously, about divestment, but everything else?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a continual cycle, man, with like every 2 years, man, all this stuff pops back up. So, it just repeats itself, man. It's a constant cycle. So, I mean, honestly and truthfully, I don't mind a woman divesting, right?
Right.
Like Crystal and Carolson say, she says, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated, right? And
Right.
I totally agree with that. I mean, with men and women, right? But I do believe that the leaders, right, in this space need to come together and figure out some guidelines and put some structure in this space so this stuff won't keep happening. Like, it's a constant cycle, man.
Yeah. Nadine, I had to put you on mute. The mic is really crazy. It's like a bump sound. I'm not sure what exactly it is. Yeah, Philly Kid's back. Real Leslie C says, I don't think it's a cycle. I think it's a response. We'll kind of dig into that a bit, Leslie. Nadine, let me try one more time. Hang on. Unmute yourself if you can, Nadine. And we'll see. Yeah, I don't know what's up with it. Hop out and hop back in, Nadine. I'm gonna take you down. Okay. That's crazy. I don't know what's going on with the audios tonight, but yeah, Philly Kid's back in the building. It's good to see Philly Kid. The smoke detectors. I know y'all are big on the smoke detectors for some reason. I know that's kind of like a point of contention for a lot of y'all. I know it bothers y'all. It never personally bothered me that much. It's safety hazard. So yeah, take care of your smoke detectors if you can. Just
Hey,
so you.
that's me, man. I just haven't changed the battery in it yet. So
Oh no, you're good, Philly. I know that's like something that a lot of people get shamed on, man. Smoke detector shaming, right? Like, but no, it's a safety. We only do it because we care about your safety. Hello Hey says, "Oh, now they want rules and structure." That's a good question. That's a good point. Hello Hey. So, but no, keep in mind though, Hello Hey, Philly Kid also is, and I don't, I'm not personal. Like me and Philly Kid aren't best friends, but every conversation that we've had, even if it's been stuff where I've been talking pretty outlandish about black guys, let's be honest, right? Philly Kid has been 100% respectful, and you have to keep in mind, Philly Kid is that he kind of is the unicorn, to be honest with y'all. He does well. He's married, and he has a pretty good life, y'all. From what I've seen on the outside, dude's solid, man, and he's always been solid on the channel. So keep that in mind. Then this is kind of why Hello Hey and Hello Hey is a big supporter of the channel too. I love you, Hello Hey. Don't ever forget that. Omega Magic's in the building. Hello Hey, I love you. Hello Hey's been on the channel for a long time. And give
can
me
I
one
respond
second.
real quick? Oh,
Give me
okay.
1 second, Philly Kid. I'll let you. Yeah, for sure. I want to say also, Hello Hey, that let me let Philly Kid respond. Go ahead, Philly Kid.
I'm just saying structure for the divestment space, right?
Okay.
You feel me? Like if you're in a divested space, you should want structure. You feel what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not I want structure. You should want structure for yourself or structure for your community.
Sweet Onyx said, "Why am I targeting divestment? THT. I feel they need to divest, and they don't need anyone to do that." Sweet Onyx, I'll give you a really quick synopsis of why, or quick summary, right? So divestment started with a group of ladies a long time ago on YouTube, probably more than a decade ago. Cerebral was one of those ladies that did start divestment. All right, she was a big part in it. Pink Pill was also a big part in it now. But if you fast forward to today, a lot of, and this is not even necessarily because I'm not even in the same lane that I started off in for obvious reasons, right? Things change and people change. But in certain aspects, the message of the message changed, right? So even though people come in and out, you have people that rotate in and out of the military. The United States military stands for what it stood for the most part. And Nadine, I saw you in the back. Nadine, come back up to the panel if you can. Nadine, I saw you in the back. I was about to add you, but it still stands for the same fundamentals that it has since 1620 something, 17 something, 1776, whatever, right? And but divestment has lost itself a little bit. There are things that are enshrouded in truth, and this is something that Woman Sphere said. All right, so I'm telling you the words out of another black woman's mouth as it relates to another woman who is a leader of. She's not a leader of divestment. I don't know what the hell, right? But I'm just saying that what she said is spot on. And she said that, well, I can't say exactly what she said, but she pretty much said that there are people in positions of power perpetrating or enshrouding protection of black women through a message of divestment, right? And so what's happening now is that if you don't agree wholeheartedly with a certain aspect of divestment, right, it's turned into a really radical movement, which is not how it started way back then. Because way back then, this is how I understand it. Okay, so let me put these guys up. All right, I'm a black guy. I know I'm a nigger, but way back then, right, it started as like, hey, a femininity type of thing, understanding how to be more feminine as a woman. I watched the Pink Pill's older videos. She doesn't have that many of them, but I watched them, right? And I tried to figure out, what the message was and everything. But it was a far cry compared to what it is today, which is pretty much gangbanging on black men, like Woman Sphere said. Now, I understand even the need to gangbang on black men online, because there was a moment in time a year and a half, 2 years ago, when it was really bad. It's calmed down. It's simmered down a lot. It's simmered down a good amount. It's still pretty volatile, but it's simmered down a good amount because niggas know feds are in the building now. So they're not talking as crazy. Some niggas still don't care, but they're not talking as crazy. And the big thing is now everybody's kind of whatever, right? So let me get to the panel guest really quickly, and then I'll go back to that a little bit. But that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm not trying to attack it. I believe in divesting. I do. I 100% do. However, there's so many aspects about divesting now that could, if you are not learning from the right person, or if you're not the right if you're not in the right space, the right mental headspace, right, mental clarity, it'll do more disservice for you. And I'll explain that later. All right. But we have more of that as well. Just understand that if I'm doing something, it might seem confusing on the outside, but it is for the betterment. I'm not just attacking it. But there's a lot that needs to be purged from the divestment community, and some of that purging is going on right now, right? And that purging will continue. And there's a lot of people that need to have their honor restored, that had their honor taken away from some of the same people that are now leading the divestment community, right? So that's why I'm kind of doing this thing. Let's move on. I want to go to Nadine. Nadine has waited for a long time. After Nadine, we're going to go to Omega Magic, and then we're going to keep moving on here, okay? So Nadine, go ahead. The floor is yours. Hold on. Unmute yourself if you can, Nadine. I'm trying to do it.
I'm not trying to be rude and cut in, but I do
Yeah,
have to go
you're fine, Cerebral.
very soon, and I wanted to say something very quick, not ahead of Nadine, but I gotta say it too.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Cerebral. Go ahead. You can go,
Okay.
and then I guess Nadine's AFK. So after Nadine, Omega Magic, then we'll try and go back.
I was writing down my notes. It's all over the place, but I want to say that a lot of women, again, I was happy that you mentioned other women, because of course it wasn't just me. There were other women. There were women who were divested before this word even came out. They didn't even know they were so-called divested. But there are some black men who have a problem with black women speaking up. They never thought that after centuries of being quiet, we would finally speak up about the issues and what we see going on in so-called black culture. Again, I'm not against a black woman dating a black man if she wants to. My thing is, date them, but you don't only have to date them. If you're attracted to other races of men, or you want to give them a chance, give them a chance, because we see the results of black men dating black women for a year to 2 years. They don't discuss marriage. They don't marry them. The woman, we know how the story ends. Usually the woman ends up pregnant half the time, becomes a baby mama, only to get disrespected by the so-called community for being a baby mama. You get no respect. You don't get married, and then you get dissed about it by your men and other women. Not also, yes, I agree about what you said about the unicorns, but I do have a problem with so many black men who claim to be good black men, but they're always silent with the disrespect from so many black men. You know, that what we see going on, they don't speak up about black femicide. They don't speak up with the countless black men who have disrespected, sounding like racist themselves towards black women. You know, of course, there are a few. Okay, I can acknowledge there are a small number, but a large percent haven't stood up globally to show that they really care about black women. I don't personally believe the collective of black men love black women. Love is an action. I look at the results of what I see and all that stuff. I'm not saying there aren't some who do. There are some who don't or do love black women and stuff, but black men who are complaining about divestment, or black women swirling, get over it. We've watched you date white women and continuously do it to this day. You do what you want. You divested. I shared the definition of divest earlier. And people just,
Cerebral, do you think that black men have more issues with interracial dating than black women do with their counterparts?
yes, because I see the look in their eye when there's a black woman with a white man. They're very hateful out in public with their stares and nasty looks, including brainwashed black women who see black men with white women every day. But the minute you see a black woman with a man not black, everybody got to stare, and we can tell they're making comments and stuff. We see it. So black men
No,
especially care if they find you attractive. They don't want attractive black women to date.
Nadine, did you have something to say to Cerebral? I saw you unmuted, Nadine. Nadine, there you go.
I understand. Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, I understand what she's saying. You could?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you, dear. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
understand. I, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I understand what she's saying about black men not, taking care or being like for our issues, caring about our issues. But this whole interracial dating thing is not going to work. It's not just not going to work at all.
What? Wait, wait, wait,
Like,
wait. You
I'm
wait.
thinking
You
about the
said interracial
future.
dating is not going to work.
Nope.
That's some bullshit. It is. We will date, and
Oh,
it is working.
hold on, Cerebral. Let's let her explain really quickly. Now, we want to, this is a safe place, so go ahead, Nadine. I think it's interesting. I want to hear more. What are your personal feelings and thoughts on that?
Because white men never promoted us, never promoted them. Like, the swirlers keep on promoting white men having books, all these swirling books and all this bullshit. But then, like, it's like we have to always show white men affection and all that stuff. But then white men doesn't promote anything. They don't promote anything about us. They don't give us books. They don't show anything, no affection at all. We just being all thirsty towards white men. And I understand what about black men not caring about issues, but I do feel that there needs to be other consequences about it, like
Mhm.
not marching for them, not birth black men, which is trying to get rid of all of us, all our gene pool, black people's gene pool, genetic gene pool. It's not gonna work. All this interracial dating bullshit is not gonna work because we just being mad thirsty against white men. Like, it's disgusting.
No, hold on. I got something to say.
Yeah.
First of all, a lot of us do
Ce-
not work. Hold on.
Cerebral. Well, Cerebral. Just one second, Cerebral. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure because I see some disrespectful, things in the comments. Yo, there's no need to be mean to anybody. All right. I'm gonna be really, really honest here. All right. I know a lot of y'all feel really strongly about this. Okay, but
These these
uh,
swirlers, these swirlers are nasty as hell. They majority of them are nasty as hell. Like, they have an attitude if they don't agree with
man,
you. I'm not saying that you can't interracial date or anything. Okay, I could. There are some good examples of
well,
interracial dating, like with white men or white women or whatever. There's some few examples of good interracial dating, but if you're being all thirsty, that's not love at all. We just that's not love at all.
no,
Please let me respond to her. I
yeah,
won't. I won't get. I won't get nasty. Just.
yeah, no, I wasn't. Yeah, Cerebral. Yeah, I know you're respectful, Cerebral. I was saying in the comments, for sure. But yeah, go ahead, Cerebral.
First of all, a lot of us don't worship white men. Now, I have seen it once or twice. I can admit that. But I don't worship white men just because they're white. I know that I'm beautiful and that I'm great. I don't, any man who gets with me is lucky to have me. I'm the prize. So I'm not on his nutsack because he's white. Do I show respect for what white men have done as far as building? Yes. I mean, it can't be denied. And not all swirlers are on the I was going to say a certain word. We're not
White men
hold
never.
no, no, let me finish real quick. We're not obsessed with white men. You say it's not going to work, honey. We are continuously getting married to white men. It's going to continue. There's nothing you can do to stop it. The
white
fact that a white man would
White
supposedly
men
be
never
with
build. White men.
I have biracial grandparents, okay? So there are white men who have been with black women, but I can say this. White men have not always just like white women, but the power structure. They have to give off the image that the white woman was on top because without the white woman, he does not exist. That's why she's placed on a certain level, even though he's not just attracted to white women whatsoever. The fact that he can go
But you
out and
said
marry hold on. The fact that a white man will publicly go out with a black woman who's supposedly the lowest on the totem pole, that he doesn't have to write a book. That sends a message itself, going out in public with us, holding hands, marrying us in a society that supposedly doesn't think he should be with us. He sends his message. He doesn't give a damn what anybody thinks. I don't need a book on how to swirl. I've been swirling since high school. I don't read those books. I don't need those books. We're not all, there are black women who are scared to date interracially. We're not going to shut the fuck up on this platform
Okay,
because we're
cerebral. This is it's a bit
okay.
too aggro, cerebral. But I know I know it's passion, right? And that's this is another reason why I want to talk about this because y'all, you got to be careful, y'all. Because listen, man, Nadine, we'll come right back to you. You know, Cerebral, I have the most respect for. So listen, what Cerebral says definitely
Um,
goes. 'Cause
I
she's big. Go ahead, go ahead, go
I
ahead,
have
go ahead,
to
Cerebral.
actually I have to actually
Mhm.
go. I don't hate you, Nadine, but I do not like what you said, painting us a certain way. It's not fair. We're tired of it. And we have to teach the young black women to wake up, stop being scared to date a white guy that you like, because a lot of black girls do in fact like white guys, and they're scared to death to go out in public with him because of black men and women who are going to judge them or make them feel guilty.
There you
You're throwing the jeans away. I don't give a damn. Y'all going to be all right. Black men been throwing the black race away for a long ass time. Who cares? Y'all are going to be okay. Y'all still procreating. We got a 70% out of wedlock birth rate. Y'all still here. Some of us going to go, and that's how
Not
it's going to
true.
be.
Not
But
true.
okay.
go. Okay, well
But I want to
let's let
say this.
Cerebral.
I
Yeah, we want to we got to go to a couple other
Okay.
people, Cerebral. So.
I'm going. What I want to
Mhm,
say is thank you for letting me on here. My
mhm.
platform, I just want black women to be happy. It's about what makes you happy. Don't settle. Face the truth about our history, and that includes things that black men have done, because I talk about it on my channel. It's going to be painful, but you're going to have to face the truth for the so-called community to heal. You only have one life. The black community doesn't do shit, nothing for black women at large. You don't owe the black community nothing no more. Date who you want. The black man is not loyal. Everybody knows it. And no, we're not going to be forced to stay here if we don't want to. Date, if you want to date a black man who is nice to you, who provides for you and treats you correctly, do it. But you don't have to just do it. There are plenty of white men who like black women. I've had a number of white men who complimented me and asked me on dates. We're not all rejected, and the white man's ashamed to be with us. Times are changing, and it is what it is. We're going to go, and we're going to go in peace. Thank you, The Honest Truth, and everybody else.
Thank you, Cerebral. We'll see
All
you soon,
right.
my dear. Cerebral's links
Bye.
are in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Cerebral's links are in the chat. Make sure you check out Cerebral. Nadine, I'll let you respond. Go ahead. You have as much time as you need, Nadine, if you'd like. Mhm.
She's
After
wrong
Nadine, it's Omega.
about okay. She's wrong about white men building. White men never built. They just lied and stole knowledge. They never built anything. That was false. That's false knowledge. And
Now, Nadine, let me ask
I'm
you:
not saying that they're
are you in America right now? I'm just verifying, and if you're not, that's okay too.
I think she's muted.
Oh, she's muted. There you go, Nadine.
yes, I'm in America.
Okay, y'all. So
I'm in America. I'm in
somebody
New York
asked.
City.
She's in New York, y'all. She's in New York City. Okay, she's in New York. She's not foreigner. Okay, to Cerebral. There's that link right there. There's the link right there. Aaron B, you're on thin ice, kind of. Not really, Aaron B. I timed you out because I thought it'd be funny, and you were typing in caps too much, and I saw something disrespectful, so that's why I timed you out. That's Cerebral's links. Nadine, give me 1 second, Nadine. I know your stance. I got to go to Omega Magic, and then we're gonna come back to you. Okay, we're gonna come back to Nadine. Omega
No
Magic, the
problem.
floor is yours. Good to see you in the building again, my man's. What are your thoughts on divestment? Are you divested, Omega Magic? Have you divested yet, or what do you think about the entire movement?
Well, what do you mean by divestment? Like, what would you consider be as
Well,
far as?
what do you consider divestment?
I mean, because from what I'm hearing, just for the conversation recently, if it
When you
means
hear the word, what in your mind, what does Omega think? Does that when you hear if a girl tells you that she's divested, what do you think?
I'm thinking that she is open to hear out oppositions as far as the struggles and the hardships that they're going through, and at best wants to make a compromise as far as like come up with better solutions to uh, fix all the struggles that they come up with. Am I right or
Okay.
wrong?
Okay. Now I know I would definitely y'all in the comments crazy. In the comments are crazy. Yeah, no, I would agree with you. It's definitely somebody who or a lady who is open to experiences, getting out of their community, getting out to this, getting out to that, getting out to this. And so why I'm asking you this question is, and I'll, Jesus, it's kind of tough here. Why I'm asking you this question is, as a black guy who is, would you say, doing, how does it make you feel as a black guy that's doing really relatively well in life? Uh, do you feel like divestment is something that has an effect on you, or does it not really bother you as much? Do you not really pay it any mind as much, or do you believe in it and support it as well? I'm just trying to get your thoughts as a black guy. We got two black guys up here that are doing pretty well,
Um,
so.
yes, I believe that black people should be more divested in their community as far as come together, and
Mhm.
whether despite whatever side you on, whether it be talk about whether it be politically or not, or, and I bring that up because that's crucial in this conversation, in my opinion. But like, yes,
So
all black
do
people need to come together and come up with a comprehensive solution. And at the same time, I mean, I hate to say it, but like, this might be triggering, but like, not listen to white people as far as how to make the black community better. Because I mean, by definition, I mean, if black people want to
so
make the black community better, we need
right.
black people. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. And I think that's kind of that's an interesting point or argument, right? Now I know divestment pretty much means that you don't believe in the black community. As our results stand right now, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're at what 70. We're at 64%. I don't know how many votes right now. It's probably at 100 or something odd that you cannot be divested and date black. So it's going to be a little tough for you to do what Omega is saying in this particular moment in time, right? Because if you're not invested into the black community, then that means that what Omega is saying, him trying to find somebody to work and build a community with, essentially wouldn't happen. Let me just kind of paint a picture, right? Let me just kind of paint a picture.
also, I want to touch on the fact that you mentioned the dating concept. Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
as far as like, can you be a black man who's dating outside their race and still be divested to the black community? Absolutely. Like, if a white,
Wait, can you be a black man and date outside of your race and still be invested into the black community?
yes, because who you're attracted with, sexually or just attracted to on a personal note, does not fluctuate with how you feel about being divested into a community. Is
So
that
you do you give women the same ability? Can they date outside of the rest, outside of their race, but still be invested in the black community too? Then
yes,
okay,
definitely.
cool. So you can date outside of your race and still be in your mind invested into the black community. Philly, do you agree? Can you date outside of your race and still be invested into the black community
So that's an interesting
concept, right?
concept, right? And no, I don't think so. And I'm gonna explain why. Because it's
Mm.
different for men and women. And I just learned this like last year. I had absolutely no clue, right?
Right.
So the racial component of a child takes the lineage from the father, right?
Right.
So in theory, if a black woman has a kid by a white man, technically that child is white. Yes. Yes. It takes the racial lineage from the father.
Takes
Now,
the okay.
right. So it like for example, technically Tracy Ellis Ross is a white woman
Right.
because her father is
Mhm.
white. Right.
But we say she's black though.
Right. We say she's black, but technically
And
she's
and
white.
and hey y'all, I just want to say this. Yo, donate to the channel if you don't want to keep the show running. If you don't donate, then the show's not going to run for very much longer. I'll be honest with you. All right. So just 5 contributors. I'm just asking for 5 contributors. 5 people. You can send $1 to the Cash App. 5 contributors, and we'll keep the show running damn near all night long if you want. But you got to donate to the show, y'all. So please support the show if you like the topics. If you think it's a good topic, then shoot, send a couple dollars. Continue, Philly kid.
So on the reverse end, right, if a black man has a
Mhm.
child by a white woman, right,
Right.
that child is lineage is black,
Right.
right? So if a black man has kids with a white woman, technically that's continuing the black community. In reverse is not. You get what I'm
Well,
saying?
but I think we addressed race though based off of what they look like for the most part though, right? Like it's not like on the medical certificate where we base the race off of. Like Tracy Ellis Ross looks more get slashed. But we, you understand what I mean? Like if we see Tracy Ellis Ross, we'd be like, oh, she's a sister. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I agree with you, but
Right.
but if she has kids by a white
A white
man,
man.
right,
Right.
her kids are going to be
White.
are going to look white. So
So you're saying essentially it's essentially wiping out black people essentially to some extent. And
right,
and
exactly.
oh jeez. That's heavy. Okay, so Philly Kid brought up an interesting point. Let's say divestment has its no, I don't. It's an interesting point. Organic Black. I'll just say this: we don't have any data. We're speaking very generally, kind of whatever it might be. Right. Let's just say this. All right. Let's just say this. And I heard this concept, I think, on Red Supreme's channel. Okay, this was interesting. So if 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 Tracy Ellis Ross, like Philly Kid said, has a white husband and they have children, and then those kids get with white people and have children, eventually the skin tone of Tracy Ellis Ross is going to be essentially gone when those children have children, right? Like it's going to be done for the most part. I think it's 2 generations, right? And so is divesting in a weird way kind of like removing black like women? I don't listen, y'all. I'm not trying to. But now I'm not. I know we're all human. I'm just trying to bring concepts for thought. Okay, my hands are in the air. Don't shoot. I'm just trying to bring concept for thought. Just trying to make you think a little bit. And I thought a little bit about it, and I was like, well, if she does now, there's nothing wrong with that. We're all humans, and those kids are going to be the kids of the kids of the kids. Maybe that's a bit of a gaslighting statement. I'm sure I'll catch heat for that. Maybe that's a bit of a gaslighting statement. But I was like, well, that's interesting. That's something I got to think on a little bit. That's something I got to think on. Somebody said I don't watch Red Supreme. He's very disrespectful. He just popped up in my feed with this whole Taz and Nyla thing, so I don't know that much about him. But I've been watching the Taz and Nyla videos that he's been putting out. So I'm not co-signing them, but I'll check it out. If you have a white parent, you are biracial. I don't know if they have a biracial slot though, like on cards and everything. Do they? Like on voter registration and everything? I don't know if they created that yet.
I mean, I want to implore people to go. I mean, to Google it, right? If I'm telling you, like, if the father is white and the mother's black, then lineagely that child is going to be white,
right? So yeah, on paper, lineagely
right,
on paper,
right, on paper, right. Okay. However, but like like you said though, how I said, if Tracy Ellis Ross, or let's just say Serena Williams, right? That's a dark skinned sister. Right, she had a kid by a white man, and you see her child. Right, if her child has a kid by a white man, right, that blackness is going to fade. Right, so but
no, give me 1 second. Let me address Leslie. And this is a good question. Leslie C said, THT, why should we make a decision for the black community over our own happiness? No, you should always make a decision that's going to be the best for you. Whatever that decision is, Leslie, and that's a great question. I'll clarify it right now. Whatever the decision is exactly what you should do before I go back to Philly Kid. So if that means dating out, then date out. That means this, that means that. But in the same token, in the same breath, right? If that guy so happens to be a black guy, all right, and you've been listening to Taz and Nyla tell you, even though they date each other and fuck each other all day long and all night long, you've been listening to somebody tell you, no, you cannot. You've been listening to the 63% of people that said, no, you cannot be divested and date black, but you want to be divested because you want to do the best thing for yourself, right? You understand how like kind of convoluted? Now, I'm not saying this is, and I get it. This is extremely gaslighting, right? I'm counting on the unicorn, right? I'm counting on the exception to be the rule, and that's not the case, right? But in the same token, in the same breath, we have to recognize where there could be potential problems and issues. Period, right? Because if we do look at, let's just be honest, if we look at numbers, there's 330 million people in the U.S. Not that many really die from murder in the grand scheme of things, right? In the grand scheme of things, like 20,000 people a year die from guns. Maybe it's like 50,000 people a year die from murder or something like that. 50,000 divided into 330 million is an extremely low number. It's 0.000000001% or something stupid like that, right? It's a very small number, but but just because it's a small number doesn't mean that it's not a critical issue when we start talking about black femicide. So nuance and situational nuance is something that I think has been completely lost in these conversations. And that's why I want to have these types of conversations now, because as much as we want to try and peg 100% or 85% or this or this or that, life is not simply a 100% black and white type of system. There are varied colors, and the more colors that you can recognize, the better of an artist that you'll be, right? The more types of stencils and weapons that you have in your arsenal, the better off for battle that you're going to be. And so I'm simply just trying to give you a different element and a different side to give in your battle, in this battle of life, in the gender war, as we call it, right? I'm just trying to give you some more things to think about, and to not put yourself in a situation where you are so gung-ho for one side or the other or the other or the other, and you end up running from this to that. That's not what we want either, right? And I'll talk about those types of stories that are happening because I do have proof of that. So let me go ahead and go back to Philly Kid. And Philly, I'm sure you don't even remember what you were talking about, but if you do, my brother, then it's all yours.
I do, right, and I do want to make a comment as well, right? And I'm not saying that black women shouldn't date outside their race, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, right? Well, I'm just trying to, I guess, help people understand what's could possibly happen when you do.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And another prime example with the kid thing, what's her name? Meghan Markle. Her father is a white man, right? She
Right.
had kids by a white man, right?
Right.
Prince Charles, well, whatever his name is a white guy,
Right.
right? Her child is white. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's no black.
But Megan would. Let me be really careful here, Jesus Christ. Megan, a lot of I don't know. Do y'all consider Meghan Markle to be black? And let me say this, because I kind of understand what this comment means too. I want to say this. So Janelle said, so LeVar Ball's grandkids are black. The whole male lineage thing is irrelevant when it comes to racial identity. Let me bring up LeVar Ball's kids, the Ball brothers. All right, 2 of them are in the NBA. The third was supposed to be in the NBA, but he ended up stealing from China. Well, I tell you what. Nigga,
How
niggas
about they
balling
all
for
get pulled over
UCLA.
by police and they could judge for themselves who's black or really not? Put it that way. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say, no, you're right, Omega. Let's look at the Ball brothers. Let me just look at the Ball brothers really quickly, and y'all decide if they're black or not. All right, and I know this is kind of a stupid argument that we're getting pinned on racial identity, but I think it has some merit. I think it has some merit. Here's the Ball brothers, and here's the wife. She's very sick, by the way, y'all. Very, very, very sick. You can watch the reality show and you can watch her going through the sickness. It's amazing, man. But he stood by her, and he kind of jokes and messes with her. They got an interesting relationship, and those are the boys right there. So this one right here and the 2 on the left are in the NBA. The kid on the right, I forget his name, is the one that stole from China, who's not in the NBA, but he can ball.
D'Angelo. Her name D'Angelo.
Thank you, bro. I wanted to buy his jersey, that Vietas one. So that's them right there. Now, I want to say this. I know we're not, the race topic thing isn't really even necessarily what we're really hinging this entire discussion on. I get how things are perceived and how people are perceived and how things are translated and everything like that. They're mixed. Okay, there we go. They're mixed. Mr. says you can be who you want. Please just don't say the mixed is black. It's mean. They're mixed. Okay. Halle Berry's kids are white. Okay. So they're mixed. All right. So we're kind of okay. Megan look more white. Yeah, she does look a little bit more white, right? She does look a little bit more white. So Philly Kid, let me go back to you. Are you saying that eventually, because of Meghan Markle, there's not going to be any more black people on Meghan Markle's side of the family? Is pretty much?
No. So you asked a question. Can
Right.
you divest and still have an interest in the black community?
Oh, okay. Yeah, go.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
all I'm saying is, eventually, if you divest, eventually there's not going to be a black community. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be breeded out. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
I have a question.
It's interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question to Philly Kid. So are you saying that the seed is the father kind of theory concept?
Yes, correct. Correct. The seed comes from the father.
I think
I
Nadine's
don't
on a
know about
delay,
that.
so Nadine, you're on a delay, so I'll speak if you want to speak. Nadine, go ahead and get your entire thing out, and then we'll respond. Give her a
I think
second.
she's muted. Okay.
I'm just saying I don't agree with the seed is the father theory. It's not only the male; it's the women too. They're getting whited out too, like maternal wise. We getting whited out. So it's on both sides. It's not only on the seed of the father theory. It's not on that side, the men's side.
Yeah, that's so. That's honestly not really something I've thought about, to be honest with you. And I think that's an interesting concept. I'm gonna be interested to see what people are saying in the chat. I don't know. I can honestly, I could see how it might be taken as a bit of a disingenuous argument. It might be this, it might be that. I can really understand a lot of stuff, but I do understand the argument too. So, what do you think about that? I mean, ultimately, let's just fast forward and do say the rates do drastically improve. Does that mean there are going to be less black women? I don't know. That maybe I'm too stupid to really think about something like that, y'all. So, if you are
Yes.
who whatever type of person who would an anthropologist, would an anthropologist study that kind of stuff, email me. Sweet Onyx says there'll always be a black community. Omega, what do you think, Omega?
Like, okay, this might be contradicted to what I just said earlier, but like, just hear me out for a second. Like,
uh
when I say black people need to, in order for the black people to fix, in order for the black community to get better, at least here in America, like we just need to sit down with black people. But at some point in time, we're gonna need like white people or any other race that predominantly controls the country by population, right? Like only because like that because first of all, us as black people, we sat down and we're like, okay, these are our problems. We look at it from a economic standpoint. We had the right people as far as analyzing the landscape of black people and all this other stuff. And every black person that has a genuine who comes in with comes from a good place of faith, puts their 2 cents into it, and we got to present it to the opposition, i.e., white people,
who
as far as like what
the
what
opposition?
are they saying? Yeah,
Okay,
which is
okay. Well, Omega,
like,
just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second, Omega. That sounds good, Omega. That sounds like a bit of a utopian type of thing. So, but I like that. I appreciate that. Crystal said this. Let me just read a few things. Crystal said we are moving towards racial ambiguity, and I think that is going to happen. Maybe it's divestment that starts racial ambiguity, but yeah, if you fast forward 2, 3, 4,000 years in the future, I do think that there's going to be a very different amount of races in the world. I mean, the racial ambiguity in the United States has already drastically changed from 1950, right, to now. Granted, I mean, what exactly does that mean? Does that mean that a lot of the people that were here started getting with a lot of the immigrants and then stuff like that? Well, not necessarily. Once again, I might not be qualified enough to say that, but I do agree with your statement wholeheartedly, 100%. But that goes back to it. Are people at the end of the day? See, now we're getting really deep. I didn't mean to get this deep, but people are people at the end of the day, right? So maybe it doesn't really even matter. Mistel says this also. We have an entire continent, the largest continent, that's full of people that look nothing, that look just like us. I'm sorry, nothing like us, right? Which is Africa. So we'll think of that. Simple Susie says race is also a social construct. Well, Susie, race is a social construct, but make no mistake about it, there are certain racial demographics and groups that do have certain constructs constructed a bit differently, right? So now Nadine, Nadine's gonna have Nadine, sweetheart. You might get a lot of flack. It sounds like she just doesn't believe in anything in regards to the the betterment of dating outside of your race and this and that. And so Nadine, let me ask you: are you, with you, are you
Yes.
dating exclusively within your race, or?
I am dating exclusively in my race, but there was earlier where white guys would ask me out, and I would like give them a chance. Like I won't be mean or anything, and judge them. But
Yeah.
I usually turn them down. But yeah,
Mm,
I still
okay,
date within my race majority because it's natural. It's
because
a
it's
natural
natural.
attraction, but I don't feel that black men are don't have that love towards us, towards black women, like we like black women are too, black men. We promote them the most and promote their chocolate skin, their so-called chocolate skin and their dark skin, but
Mm.
they don't do that for us. That's the thing
Well,
that we need to some consequences towards them where they have to show the love back. So
well, Nadine,
yeah,
that's what
but
a lot of women would say the purpose of divesting is, Nadine. I mean, because they would say that they didn't get the responses, back, or that they've gone through it, right? And things of that nature. It looks like Aaron's happy that you're sticking with the brothers, right? But they would say, well, sweetheart, if it didn't work out and you feel like you're not getting the love reciprocated, then why are you still trying? Right? That's what they would say. What do you think?
I would say that's still bull because because white men
Really?
never showed any attraction. They started all the isms, the racism, the colorism. They started every social the race construct. So it's so it's they never gonna have attraction towards black women. They never admitted. I mean, now they're saying, oh, like they're fetishizing us and saying, oh, we like black women, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. But they don't. It's not showing anything because, like, if we wait, sorry,
You're fine. You're fine. And Nadine, while you collect, I'm gonna ask a few others. Omega, I know you had a bit more that you wanted to say, but let me ask a specific question and let me get your specific answer on this. Phoebe, yeah, yeah. Nadine, Aaron, Aaron, you're about to get blocked again.
yeah, I was
Omega.
busy. Sorry,
Oh no. Oh
I'm
no, you're
busy.
good.
So
Okay, go ahead. Go back. Go back. You're good. Go ahead. You can go, Nadine.
because I don't feel like ever promoted us. They never promoted us at all, and they're fetishizing us, and it's like they never. It's never about. It's always about sex. It's not never about more than, oh, they're gonna stop racism towards us. It's always
Right.
about sex or curiosity. So that's why I don't fall for the white men asking us out and dating and all that stuff. I don't believe that.
Now, Nadine, do you kind of participate in the divestment spaces, or do you just kind of hang out in the BWE spaces, or do you kind of watch the same type of content that we're discussing right now and just pick up on it and just kind of watch it for more entertainment, uh, or you just kind of I'm interested and I'm curious, just to see where
I
and
I'm mostly what you yeah, I'm mostly in what you call so-called pro back, whatever. I like crowd. I'm not like in the divestment crowd, but I see this divestment thing is ruining our minds, our children's minds, everything. Divestment, both male and female, black men and women. I feel like it's an agenda towards whatever is gonna come in the future. I don't know what they're gonna do with us. All I know, what I researched too, is that they're trying to make us one race and one sex. That's what I know.
Okay, well, that's big right there. Well, Nadine just put us on conspiracies for the most part now. So, but no, Nadine, I hear you. Listen, I'm big into conspiracies and stuff like that too. Now, I definitely am too. So listen, I know we're gonna have some people that might
It's
feel a lot of different. Go ahead. You good?
it's not conspiracy theories. It's really I'm not a conspiracy theorist. You may call me a conspiracy theorist, but I'm a
Mhm.
realist actually. But
Mhm.
mostly majority conspiracy theories are real, based on real facts, all that stuff. So I feel that
Now,
I don't know
Nadine, I
why
want to
they
say
promoting.
Janelle says this. Nadine, she said Janelle, she says Nadine, my husband is white. he never fetishized me. You got to stop.
That's a lie.
If she said if I only dated black men, I would still be single. This is what she says right here. Right now, keep in mind we do got a married brother on the panel right now. But Janelle, this is her personal experience, and I'm inclined to believe that that she's probably right. So
You're
what do you
married?
think? No. I'm not married.
No,
Philly
no,
kid's
I
married.
am. I'm married.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have
Oh,
a
my bad.
question.
My
I
bad.
have
Oh,
to
no, you're good,
answer
bro.
what she said.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
will have an answer for that question.
Mhm.
If her white man never fetishized her, why is he not telling his people to stop racism and you know discriminatory things towards us? If it's only about sex and curiosity, like I said.
Well, Nadine, have you experienced in your own personal life, and also Nadine, the Miss Rose wants to know, maybe we don't give as much of our age out between your age ranges. It sounds like she's probably 18 to 25, Rose. That's what I hear right there, right? That's what I'm picking up, 18 to 25. But now, Nadine, have you experienced like racism or something that happened in your personal life that just deterred you or turned you off of that particular race?
I I remember when I was in a car and some white guy, like I was parked, and this white guy
Mhm.
just suddenly just yelled and said, move your car," and I was like, okay, but I just see that white men have like some like
So
white
he just said,
people, like they're
right,
different from us, so
right.
like
I hate to,
they're
I hate to
more,
cut you guys
I
off,
don't
but
know, they're more violent. I don't know.
yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Nadine. Go ahead, Omega.
I'm sorry I have to cut you off, but I will have to go because yeah, something came up. But yeah, great
We
hangout. And until next time, though, straight up.
I, I appreciate you, Omega. We'll see you soon, man. Good to see you again.
I mean, well, let me say something real quick,
Sure.
right? I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, so it's dangerous to, so what's her name, Janelle, right? To
Mhm.
assume that her husband is not doing the things that you speak of, because you don't necessarily know her personal situation, right?
Right.
So I mean, me personally, I just don't like people saying personal things about people that they don't know.
It's true.
Right. You
I,
get what I'm
I agree.
saying?
I agree with you.
Right, because her husband could be on the front line with her, you know what I mean, talking
Sure.
about racial issues, but we don't know.
It's true. I
You know what I
agree.
mean? So yeah,
I agree
that's all
that
I'm
there
saying.
is no way, just
White
for
people,
taking her at face value, and just for taking it her word value. We just have to. That's kind of how we have to have these discussions for the most part. Because
if
yeah, we don't know anybody's story at the end of
white
the day.
people if white people love black people so much, they would take move mountains towards us and our issues. I don't see them even in our dating relationship. They never move mountains for us. Only sexual wise.
Well, well, Nadine, I think that's interesting, Nadine. I'll be completely honest with you, right? Uh, I think that you're young, and so that's good. It's good to be young and willing to learn.
I'm actually
If you are willing
33.
to learn. You're 33.
Yep. Yep,
What?
I
You
am
sound like a
33.
kid.
Yep. I know.
Okay.
People tell me I am.
Okay. So you're 33. Wow. I didn't know you're 33, Nadine. Well, okay, that changes things a bit. I'm gonna be a little bit more frank with you then, Nadine. I love the sincerity, the loyalty, the respect, the integrity. Like, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what brother wouldn't hear and be like, man, that's awesome, right? That's awesome. That's awesome. But I have to be honest. When it comes down to things that are happening in the black community and things of that nature, like, yeah, we're over here, and there are white people here, but there aren't white people in our communities, right? A lot of the things that happen in our communities is not necessarily a white person doing it directly. we could argue that systematic racism trickles down and things of that nature. We could do that, right? We can go all the way back to tracking where we came from, right? We could do that. But I think the bigger thing, Nadine, and the point that a lot of women are going to say in response to you, hopefully in a respectful way, is that it's the leaders or the men in the community who are going to make the community what it is. And a lot of women feel like the the majority, a good portion of our community is lacking in a lot of leaders. And we'll talk about the fathers and things of that nature that are missing from the homes. And these are very deep conversations, but
And
they would say it's more about the men in that community, right? Go ahead.
I agree, but I'm saying that interracial relationships is never like white men never gonna promote us, never gonna promote black women or help black women. And it's funny how you never see white men help us with colorism, or like if you're being attacked, you never see them in any saying, oh, like protecting black women or defending black women. It's like they're aiding in our destruction. So it's never I know black men need to take accountability,
Right.
but white men are not doing anything either.
Okay, for sure. Well, geez. That is deep. That is deep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are no contributors on the show, so that means we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Listen, I appreciate everybody for being on the panel right now. I wish we could keep the show going, but at this point, it's just kind of, we've gone for 2 hours, and so 2 hours, not a single donation. That's just not going to happen. In the future, the shows are just going to be at 30 minutes. So I'll start a timer at 30 minutes. And if nobody donates, then all the podcasts will be 30 minutes long, so there's no point in lengthening these out if you're not going to invest in it, because I'm definitely not going to invest in it. That's for sure. And end up losing in it. So I appreciate everybody for watching. This has been THT. I'm going to take everybody down. It's good to see y'all here. Listen, we got some more, and Philly Kid, it's good to have you back on the panel, man. Really good to have you back.
Hey, anytime, brother, man. Hey, look, man, I love what you're doing, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
Much love to you, man. Much love to you.
You too, Philly. Talk soon, bro. Laura, I see you in the back, Laura. We couldn't bring you up this time, Laura, but we'll bring you up soon, my dear. Okay, we'll bring you up soon. Laura's always so sweet. Thank you, Nadine. I know you're on a delay, but I appreciate having you here, Nadine, as well. All right, y'all. Well, this is gonna be it for this one. Woo! Yo, I'm not gonna lie. This gave me definitely a few ideas. This was interesting. This was interesting, man. This was interesting. Y'all have a couple of really interesting points, and I like that. I absolutely like that. Oh, go ahead, Nadine. I'll give you your final words.
Thank you for having me on the show. You might see me more talking about this topic, but today I was just busy. But you will see me more.
Definitely, Nadine. I appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you, Gulf Coast Granny, for the $10 super sticker. I appreciate that. Janelle, you can donate via the links that are right here. The Cash App link is right there in the chat, as well as the PayPal link is in the chat. It's actually right here on the screen as well. You see in the top left, it says Truth Seekers. Right there, it says Truth Seekers. That's for Cash App. So you could donate on Cash App if you'd like. You could donate on PayPal if you'd like. You could donate on Super Chat if you'd like. What other way can we donate? Maybe I need to make another way to donate. I'll make another way to donate to the channel if you'd like as well. Nadine, I do appreciate having. Oh yeah, Janelle, sometimes I heard that if you're on iPhone, you can't super chat or something like that. I heard that. I did see if you're on iPhone, you can't do certain stuff or something, or in certain countries you can't do certain stuff or something. So maybe I need to make a few more donation type of things. Okay, I'll make a few more donation types of things. It's interesting, man. This is interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I really did enjoy this though. But yeah, thank you all for coming onto the panels. Yeah, I know people like the panels, but once again, these are good conversations, and I'm not just gonna be doing them for free. So if we have to go to members only, then I'll start doing members only live streams. All right. So you can buy membership now, but if you don't see me anymore, then it's because it's members only. And yeah, we'll keep putting this information out. I appreciate y'all for being here, and I'll see you in a little bit. Have a good night, y'all. Be safe. Also, think about your Second Amendment rights, ladies and gentlemen. Think about carrying a pistol. Think about carrying a firearm. If you're legal to do so, go buy a firearm. Go buy a pistol. If you're scared of firearms, go to your nearest gun range. Walk up there and tell them that you're scared of firearms. You're really uncomfortable, especially if you're a woman. You're going to get some big-ass white dude that you want to be divested to. If you're, the person that wants to divest to a white, big-ass, burly dude with a big black blonde beard and stuff like that, and he'll walk you right to the gun range. He'll put his arms around you and he'll teach you how to fire the rifle, and he'll get as much enjoyment out of it as you do, because those type of guys love teaching women how to shoot. They love it. It makes them feel, like legit. So they'll break everything down. You'll get like a $500 gun shooting tutorial lesson, just by you walking up to the range as a dainty woman and fiending for help, right? Feigning for help. Just playing the damsel in distress a little bit. But go do that. Once you fire a few rounds, you'll realize that it's not the gun itself, it's the person. Okay. But you don't want to get caught in a situation where the gun and the person are working in alignment against you. Okay. It's a very bad place to be. So I love you all. Pepper spray, bear spray. If you can't get to the firearm because they are expensive, if you have felonies and certain misdemeanors that are domestics, you also can't have firearms. If you're in a certain state that is not in America, like California, you can't have a firearm, or New York. I apologize for that. You can if you're outside of the 5 boroughs. I'll see you soon. Take care of yourself, ladies and gentlemen, and very, very, very good night.